All right, so we're arrived at our next build spot here. We've got Mark here with us, who's been so generous to offer up his driveway here. So Mark, thank you again.
Hey YouTube, how you doing?
And he's going to give us a little bit of help. So we're kind of doing teamwork here today. We got Kelly helping out as well. What we're working on is some custom brackets, and I got to give a shout out to Rick over at Dream Side Out. He had a real simple idea for roof rack brackets on this exact type of van. This is what we're doing here. It's just 1.5 inch angle iron, 3 pieces cut at 4 inches, and then just kind of fitted together like a puzzle to make a bracket that fits perfectly up in the channel on this van. So I'll hop up on a ladder and show you. These fit right in that channel there. So you can go right through this on the inside. It's a fairly thin piece of aluminum, and then that gives you a little bit of height above the roof. So I'm going to use some aluminum angle to go across as my roof rack. So I've got 8 of these fabricated up. I paid a guy, talked about that in Tampa, and I think it's going to work. So what we have to do now is drill all the holes, pre-drill them, get these painted up so they don't rust, and then we'll be able to think about actually assembling everything. So that's the project. That's what we're working on today for now. Okay, so it's time for a lunch break. Kelly made us a nice big salad we're all going to share here. Take a little time out.
You can do it.
All right, so I guess you know you're going with a beefy battery bank when your batteries and inverters show up on a pallet.
What's going on?
Well, we just got to be precise when we drill this hole because of what's on the inside. There's a little piece of channel for the brake lights, the wiring. So if we get this hole drilled in the wrong place, we're going to be not able to put a nut and bolt on this, or a nut and washer. We'll get it figured out. We just got to be cautious before we just go drilling holes. We'll get it done. All right, so another day. So this is day 2 here working with Mark on the box van build. We were able to accomplish this yesterday. Doing 3 solar panels. There's not enough room. You know, I could have placed the vent fan somewhere else and had all 3 in a row, but I really wanted the roof vent over the kitchen, and I really wanted the kitchen where it was here. So that's just the way I had to go with it, and I'm okay with that. So we're basically fabricating our own roof racks. This is not totally bolted down. We just got zip ties to hold it so the wind don't blow it. But it's just kind of a delicate process of going step by step and making sure everything lines up. Getting these brackets that we made bolted in, getting the aluminum angle here bolted onto those, and then the panel bolted to the aluminum. So it's kind of step by step to make sure everything lines up. So now we're working on the front. The front is going to have 2 panels side to side, lengthwise. We've got the rear bracket set here, and we need to bring the panels down to get those bolted to the aluminum. So that's where we're at. Okay, so now it's time to get the panels bolted to this aluminum angle here. So I made a little mark on the aluminum itself. That's where the end of the panel should line up. So I make sure that's lined up there. Just set that because this is going to be the bottom side, obviously. And I'm just going to use a center punch, get a hole here, drill through. But very important, I'm using this as a little safeguard so when I drill through I don't hit the bottom of the solar panel. Because if you go through this film here, that will scar and damage the solar panel itself, the cells. So very important to remember to have that there. I've almost spaced a couple times and not had that in there. So we'll get the center punch out here, get our holes in, some bolts through it, be on our way. All right, so we're coming along on the solar panels here. Because we're mounting them lengthwise, we thought it'd be good to have a little support in the center. So we drilled through the rails of the panels and got a bolt through there. So now they are supported here. They won't want to flex independently. So it should give it some extra strength. So we've got the bolts in here and here, just going with a washer on each end and a lock nut. May switch to the nylon nuts on those. I got to go make another hardware run, so we'll get 2 more holes and bolts in here. Then we'll have to get it back up on the roof to get our measurements for the front rail. Okay, so the solar panels are mounted. They're not totally bolted down yet because we're going to have to lift them up to fish the wires out. So we're going to be connecting all these 3 panels in parallel. So we've got a 3-into-1 connector for the positive and the negative. So we need to fish out the leads on that, and I've got some extensions to make it all the way up front here. The pass-through for the wires is going to be right about here. And we'll feed, once they're all paralleled connected with the connectors, it'll be just a positive and negative going through the little pass-through. So we'll go take a look at all of our parts there. So that's 190 each on the solar panels for a total of 570 watts. All right, so this is where we're at. We've got the solar panels pretty much all up here. They're not fully bolted down because we're just gonna wait till the very last step on that. But we do have the wires run from the back panels up. I needed some extension wires coming up all the way under the front panels, meeting up with the leads from the front panels, and everything are going into the 3-into-1 parallel connectors. And from there, we're going to be plugging in our main leads, which are these 2 here. I'm waiting to plug those in because they'll be live as soon as I plug those in. So the main leads are going to be connecting to the ends of the parallel connectors. The wires on the main leads are going through this little box here. I've got holes drilled through the roof of the box van and some protective wrap around the wires going through the holes. And then this pass-through box here is going to be screwed with these sheet metal screws to the roof of the van. But before we do that, we're going to pre-drill a couple holes, or a hole on each corner, and then lay down some butyl tape underneath this box around these edges here, so we get a nice tight seal. Then on top of the screw heads and around the edge, we'll go in with some Dicor. Hey, we got a hole. Okay, so the second window is installed. That's pretty much all I'm going to do for windows on the sides. I will probably install one on the back door, not one of these windows, a smaller little door. I'm thinking of using like a marine porthole window on the back door. But use the butyl tape on this instead of the factory seal because they're such cheap windows. The butyl tape is slowly squeezing out, so I'm just going to slowly cinch down on the trim ring on the inside till that butyl tape is nice and distributed. So on the inside here, we got the vinyl flooring down. I didn't do the best as far as the dimensions. I pre-cut this at my last build location and it was a little off, but I'm gonna have furniture up against all the sides so you really won't see that. Kelly's not gonna like that, she's a perfectionist, but I'm happy with it. Window from the inside, I've got the insulation cut around it again here, my wood strip back up. I'm going to hold off on putting my paneling back up. I think I'm also going to put some wood strips going horizontally. So when I attach little shelves and maybe some cabinetry, I'll have something to screw into. I found the perfect length screw to go through this, which is a 1x2, which technically is about 3/4 inch thick. That will penetrate this wood and then go through the wood of the box fan without going through the other side, even when you countersink it. So that's how I'm going to attach the strips here, maybe even some construction adhesive as well. And I'll just slowly crank down on the trim ring screws here to compress that butyl tape. Go with some caulking around the outside of the window as well. Once it's fully compressed, I'll trim off that butyl tape, the excess. And now we've got 2 windows in the box fan. I think that's going to be nice. A little extra ventilation. With the roof fan on exhaust mode, we'll be able to bring in some fresh air. This is going to be right over my kitchen cooktop here. So I'll be able to kind of see out, have some fresh air to come in and suck out the exhaust while I'm cooking. I think it's going to work. Thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate you following along on this camper van build. I had to put the power system install on hold, the battery bank and the inverter and everything. I'm waiting on some other components before we install it. So in the next videos, we'll be moving on to more of the structure stuff inside the van, refining the kitchen unit, building a desk so I can work on my laptop to get these videos up, and then some more structure around the bed and shelving and that. So they'll be coming up in the next videos. Hope you're all doing well out there, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.